Okay, so here are the rails, and here is our show.
Completely off. Completely gone today. What in the world? Derailed.
Yay, you're here. Welcome to the CK and GK podcast. Let's get going.
You know it's true. Everything I do it for Tuesday. Caitlin is trying not to laugh into the mic right now.
I'm trying not to spit into the microphone right now. Oh my gosh.
Before we start, I was like, I'm going to sing, but I'm not sure I have this one nailed down. Sorry, Bryan Adams, or anyone who's a fan thereof.
All the time. All the way, yeah. I swear I don't actually sing like that, but I had to do it. Okay.
It's Tuesday. We're so glad that you're here. With me today is Caitlin. And we must have gone to school together because I swear we had chemistry.
Oh, I love it. Well, maybe we did because you are my favorite magnificent middle school marching band, Jenny. Yeah. Why is that one? Middle school marching band?
I have been in a middle school marching band.
I know you have. That's what made it even better.
Yep.
So one of our friends sent me a video on TikTok that I just have to, it relates to this a little bit, so I have to say it. There's a person who is on TikTok who is coming up with very kind insults. So like, she's like, think of something amazing, right? Like a grilled cheese sandwich, but then think of the thing that would ruin it. And then you add like an extra boost to it. She's like, so you absolute burnt grilled cheese sandwich. And
Congealed.
Right. Yeah. Like you ridiculously melted otter pop. What are you doing right now? Right? Made me laugh out loud. And I was like, magnificent middle school marching band. Okay, great. But that's just where my brain went. Are you drinking water out of a wine glass right now?
No, I'm drinking wine out of a wine glass.
Oh. It looks like water.
Oh, that's because I put ice in it because I'm so classy.
However you like your wine is how you should drink your wine.
Yes,
the end.
There you go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
With ice from a box.
There. Like juice.
Yeah.
I do want to real quickly do a shout out quick. We had author and friend of the show. I'm officially allowed to say that now because she is.
Okay, I saw her on BBC.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, she's so famous. So author and friend of the show, Taylor Lawrence, we want to say thank you for giving us your time last week. If you haven't listened to that episode, it's last week's episode. Please go listen now. It's so fun to have her and just be able to listen back to it. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. So it's amazing that she was here. She spent her time with us.
She's famous and she was on our show.
Big time.
So that like makes us famous, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that how that kind of thing works?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it's time for us to talk about what we're obsessed about besides having a famous guest.
Yes.
Okay. So my current obsession right now is 903 Brewing out of Sherman, Texas, which is basically like spitting distance from Oklahoma. We went to go visit and they have the wackiest flavors, right? Like I always thought that Martin House, also from the DFW area, had the craziest flavor beers because they have the one that's like pizza flavored or wing flavored or ranch flavored, and you could like drink your wing flavored beer and your ranch flavored beer. When we went to their brewery, they also had an Indian curry beer, which tasted just like curry, but you don't want to drink that. It was like weird and accurate. But 903 is like completely wacky. And there's a bunch of stuff that they make that you can only get at their brewery, and I didn't know that. And one of the ones that we got was Bluey. It's called, yes, it's called Wackadoo, and it's like a bluey flavored beer. It's like mango and tropical fruits, like you might find in Australia.
I
But
love it.
yeah, it was really cool. But the one that like we took multiple 4-packs home of was a Dole Whip pineapple upside down cake beer.
Oh, yeah, that would be good. I
And
could
there
see
are
that
only
being
a
really delicious.
it is so good. And there are only a few left, and I swear if my husband turns up dead, it's because he drank the last one.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
I like it. I'm here for it. I've only had like a couple of wacky flavors like that. The one that's my favorite that I've had is it's called a Girl Scout Stout, and it's thin mint.
Oh my gosh,
It's
yes.
so good. I love that one, but I don't really do like too many other. I mean, I've had the blueberry one. I like that
Right, right,
one,
right.
but I don't do the wacky ones so much. So I'm curious about all of this.
Oh, I am such a sucker. Like, oh, it's Kool-Aid pickle flavored? Yes, I'll have it.
Right.
Thanksgiving dinner flavored beer? Pour me one. Like, I am all about it.
I'll do that with candy. Mustard flavored
Okay, there you
Skittles.
go.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'll try
yes.
it. I'll be mad that I spent the money on it, but I'll still try it.
Right, right.
So, my new obsession is I got my nails done like professionally, and I'm gonna go backwards in time for my gem, but the gem has to do with why I got them done professionally. The last time that I went and did them myself, I had an issue, and my husband made fun of me. so so then I went and got them done, and now my nails are a pointy almond shape, like almond shaped, but with like a
Ooh.
tip. Oh my gosh,
Yes,
I am
yes.
obsessed with this shape. I love it. It makes my fingers look long, and I do not have long fingers. I have short, stubby fingers that look chunky, and this makes my hands look so much like cuter and ladylike, and I'm very happy with them. So that's my new obsession.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Yep.
Okay, so now we go to the gem.
Mm-hmm.
And mine is mostly just a moment I'm very, very proud of. When you hear this, listeners, you will laugh out loud that this is something I'm proud of. You don't even have to know me, but if you do know me, it's even better. We are in the second week of school
Yes.
when this happened. Okay, so I'm telling a story that happened a little while ago, but when this happened, it was the second week of school. And I teach at a school that really focuses on learning in community. And not like, oh, our classroom community and we like share scissors. Like, no, 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 no. Like, the idea is we further the knowledge of everyone in the room together. So if someone has a question, it's their responsibility to ask in that moment, and everyone stops the conversation to make sure that that person has clarification and can clearly move forward with the rest of the group. It is
Wow.
wicked cool. It's really neat. And when we teach a lesson, it's very deductive in nature, and we start with something that is community knowledge, and then we build together something new.
Yes.
It's awesome. It's really cool. It's a completely different way of teaching than I've ever taught before.
Love it.
But because this method of teaching is so different and so challenging, we spend a lot of time talking about mindset. A lot of time. And right now we're in a place where we're really contrasting growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. And if you're not familiar with growth mindset, it's the work of Carol Dweck. It's this idea that you believe that you can't yet. This is very challenging for me right now. This idea that your brain was not fixed in one position. You don't have a certain level of smartness. You actually can grow your brain and you can continue to learn. There's always more to learn.
Mm-hmm.
So in our growth mindset talk this week, I decided to talk about the baddie, the complete baller that is Teddy Roosevelt.
Oh, Lord. The problematic baller, Teddy Roosevelt.
Yes. I was so proud of myself. I just put his picture up there and I'm like, this guy got shot and kept talking. His shirt is filling up with blood and he's like, whatever, I'm on the campaign trail. I'm not stopping. He might have been a mistake, but he did climb the Matterhorn on his honeymoon alone. left his wife back in the hotel like, hey, I'm going to go climb this 14er real fast. Not healthy for the marriage, but still really cool.
I just heard a podcast that had to do with him, where the very first female detective in New York City actually started out as the widow of a man who was like being targeted for speaking out against corruption in the New York Police Department, while Teddy was the captain.
Nice.
Problematic behaviors, yes. Are we saying he's perfect? No.
But it ties in because he said, believe that you can and you're halfway there.
Totally.
And so that was the quote that I built this on. But I was like, dude, this guy, like, we don't have presidents getting shot and continuing their speech right now. We just don't.
No, we don't. You're right. He does embody the spirit of like, yet I'm going to tackle this thing, right? Challenge, etc.
Bold moves. I like it. Got it.
Okay, well, again, I take you back in time just a little bit before my nails were done to the last time I did them at home. And we know that I have a nail kit at home and I have a light and I do all the things. And I'm not as good as those girls you find on Facebook and Instagram reels with their beautiful like painting and they wear the gloves and all that stuff. No. But I was talking to my husband and and I was like, okay, I got one more coat left to do on this hand. And I was going to do the coat and then put them underneath the light. And my husband goes, okay, so that means you'll be ready to go to bed after that's done. And I said, yeah. And he goes, okay, so what else? He goes, what else do you have to do? And I was like, well, I just got to put them under the light. And he goes, so you're going to have to microwave them? He asked me if I microwave my fingers, guys.
Did you tell him that it's ultraviolet light, which is actually a longer wavelength? So they're macro waves?
No, because I didn't know that. I just was like, no. And then I laughed so hard that I messed them up.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I messed up the top coat and it had a bubble in it and they all peeled off and I got mad and I just started like going crazy and peeling them off. And so I had parts of one hand looking okay and then the other hand looked pretty great. And I just was like, forget it. I'm going to go get them done. I can't with you and your microwaving fingertips. I got to go. So I just went and I was like, I'm done. I'm done with this. So that's why I have my nails done because my husband made fun of me for microwaving my fingers.
That is really, really funny. But you know what? It's good. You need it. Every once in a while, get your nails done.
Yep.
Okay. And the way you're going to pay for these nails, you hear this is like a segue. We're going to do this. The way you're going to pay for these nails is by saving money at the grocery store.
Yep. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back and listen to our friends. And okay, we'll see you in a second.
Are you itching for a good story? Laughter among friends, maybe even a mystery or two? Well, you're in luck. Fire Breathing Kittens is a standalone Dungeons & Dragons podcast. Each episode is a separate 3-hour-long story, like a movie for your ears, so you can listen to these adventures in any order you like. So join us on a real play D&D quest as we solve mysteries, attempt comedic banter, and enjoy friendship. Fire Breathing Kittens podcast. Fantasy, action, mystery, friendship.
Thanks for listening to our friends. Back to the show.
And we're back. Jenny just made me laugh.
Because I got a text from my husband that said, can you let the chicken pig into your classroom? Which is code for, can you let the dog into where you're recording?
Oh my gosh. The chicken pig.
The chicken pig.
I
because
love it.
She's a Frenchie. When she lays, she like splays out her legs. She looks like a little spatchcock chicken. And she's a bulldog, so she sounds like a pig.
Oh, speaking of pigs, do y'all buy pork at the store? Jenny's going to help you. I don't know.
Okay. So the topic of today's Real Talk is about saving money at the grocery store. And I am not here to tell you to buy in bulk, like duh. And I am not here to tell you don't go shopping when you're hungry, of course. And I'm not here to tell you make a meal plan. Like everybody knows these things. These are quote unquote hacks in addition to that regular common sense. I have 3 different articles from which I like combined ideas that I thought were cool. So the first one is from BuzzFeed, and it's called 22 Money-Saving Grocery Hacks.
Got it.
From that 22, I pulled 3.
Oh,
Okay.
well done.
All right.
Not well done to you. Well done to the... Thank you for letting us share your content. However, if there's only 3 that are useful,
yes.
Okay.
So just consider me like the filter you need for the internet.
Love it. I'm here for it.
All right. So the first one, I am going to coin this phrase. This was not stated in the BuzzFeed article. The advice was, but not presented this way.
Ooh.
You need a capsule wardrobe for your fridge.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yes. They said buy mix and match ingredients so that you have a week's worth of groceries and you can be like, oh, today I'm going to make a rice bowl with pork, or tomorrow I'm going to have noodles with chicken, and you have like everything set up and in portions ready to go, and you can make your own like Chipotle bowl every day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking it's a capsule wardrobe for your fridge.
I would agree. Yeah, because like you can do rice with different proteins throughout the week or whatever. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I like it.
So the idea is it's a money saver because you're buying less of each thing and pre-portioning it. So when you go to make a meal, you can say, okay, I'll take 1 portion of the peas, 1 portion of the chicken, 1 portion of the pasta, and I'm going to make a little puttanesca.
The meal prepping and the portioning stuff, sometimes that just drives me crazy because it takes a lot of work to do that. Mm-hmm. Like, one of the things I'm so glad about now that I'm not teaching is that I get my Sunday afternoons back where I don't have to meal prep for the entire week, all of my lunches, right? But I really should be doing that for our dinners.
Well, and I'm going to talk about this later. There is like a balance of time is money, right? Like at some point you have to think, what is your time worth? Okay.
Right.
The next one is a tip that I totally agree with. Excuse me. And I use all the time. Go to an ethnic grocery store for seasonings or produce.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good idea.
We have an H Mart close to our house. This is the biggest the biggest grocery chain out of Korea. And their produce is so much cheaper, especially if you want fresh herbs.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, yes. You can buy a big bunch of fresh basil for less than the cost of the tiny little plastic baggie you get at the regular grocery store.
Wow. Okay. Noted.
Yeah. Okay. And then the last tip that I stole from BuzzFeed was to maintain a full pantry with a good inventory list. So this is an initial outlay of funds, but keep a good running list of what you have on hand. And so you can quote unquote shop at home. Like, what could I add to this meal? Oh, well, I have a can of beans. I have this. I have that. I can pull something from my pantry and build out this meal a little bit because I know I have these other things. Not only does it keep you from buying a whole recipe's worth of groceries, it also keeps you out of the store so often. So if you are running in to just get a can of baked beans, you might also pick up a lot of other things while you're there. Having a well-stocked pantry keeps you from making those midweek trips all the time.
That's a really good idea.
Okay.
I like it.
So the next article I read was from the Food Network, and they know their way around the kitchen. It's 10 grocery hacks to help you save money. Okay. From those 10, I distilled down to 2.
That's a better rate. Yeah, we're good.
Right. The first one is frozen vegetables last longer. Now, this is like a common sensey type thing, but this is also something to keep in the back of your mind. If you are buying fresh produce so that you can throw it away a week later, stop.
Yeah.
Right? We've all seen that meme that says, oh, I forgot to buy a bag of spinach so I could throw it away at the end of the week.
Yeah.
If you are not going to eat that produce when it's fresh, don't buy it. Think about a frozen option that you could pick up and eat between now and your next trip, or schedule out a trip that's just for produce buying. And say, okay, I do all of this shopping every 2 weeks, a big buy, and then once every week I go and I pick up apples for the lunches or whatever.
I like that. That seems reasonable. I will say there's other things you can do, like right before like when your spinach is not great anymore, you can, I would say put a paper towel in the bag that helps absorb some of the moisture, but also just like I freeze it and put it into smoothies. Like
Hmm.
I blend it up with water and then put it into like ice cube trays and then do that. And that's one way to do it. But
And
then I also do it before my strawberries go bad. Because you know when you get like some of the mushy side strawberries,
yes, yes,
like
yes.
right when that happens, that's when I take the strawberries and I freeze them. And
Yeah, you
bananas
cut the
too.
tops off and you throw them in the bag and you freeze them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My daughter is obsessed with making smoothies, and her favorite recipe uses kale. Well, we bought the giant bag of kale and we put the whole bag in the freezer. We didn't even
Yeah.
like puree it or anything. We just froze it as leaves and it
Oh
works just
wow.
fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So just think about what you can freeze or what you can buy frozen.
Yeah.
All right.
Smart.
And this is when I talk about that time is money thing. You have to be
Mm-hmm.
strategic about this. Next tip.
Okay.
Okay. So this one is about using coupon apps or digital store deals.
Mm,
Okay. This is when you have to really think, how much time am I going to spend couponing and how much money am I going to save?
yeah.
So the way that I do this is I do not have coupon apps, but I know a lot of people are big fans of the one that starts with I and it tells you that you
Mm-hmm.
bought something and you get cash back or whatever. What I do is when I am making my meal plan for the week, I start by looking at the saver or the
Yep.
flyer or whatever you call it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the time I spend couponing. Is say, okay, these are the things that are on special or these are the coupons that they have and I'm going to incorporate these if they make sense to me. But I am not
Mm-hmm.
going to sit there and like pour over the coupons or maintain 17 apps. Like it's just not worth the time for me.
No, it's too much work.
That said, I know the grocery store tracks my spending. I know they know what I like to buy, and
Mm-hmm.
they give me coupons when I check out. Remember,
Mm-hmm.
they print them out either on the back of your receipt or there's another machine that prints them, and
Mm-hmm.
they do track you. Like if you're paying with the same credit card every time, they know what you like to buy.
They know what you buy. Yeah.
Right. So oftentimes those coupons are actually really valuable to me. Sometimes it kind of ticks me off a little bit because it's a coupon for something I just bought.
Mm-hmm.
I put them in my wallet with my credit card.
Yeah. Yep.
So that when I pull my card out to pay at the grocery store, I'm like, oh yeah, I also have this Pizza Crust coupon. Let me use it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I do not sit there
I
and try and plan like, oh, I have 17 coupons. Let me look at them before I make my list. I just can't do that. I know it
No,
makes
it's
sense
too much.
and I know it is a way to save money. And I've watched those extreme couponing shows where the people have 19 bottles of shampoo and they got paid $7 to buy them. I understand that. It's not for me. It
Mm-hmm.
could be for someone else.
It's totally for someone else. I have a friend who does that, and she goes grocery shopping in her like garage for stuff like that, right?
Right.
It is not my thing either. I actually use the app and I get the digital coupons, and then I just make sure that I use the card that's associated with the account, and then it just preloads them so that when I type in my loyalty number, all of those coupons are already ready to
Just
go.
pop up.
That's
Right.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
All right. Here comes the third article.
Okay.
The third one is from rotherbyshopping.com.
Nice.
And it's called 24 Highly Clever Tricks to Save Money at the Grocery Store.
Okay,
And
how
from
many?
those 24, I got 5. They're the
So
big
if you're
winner.
keeping track, she's gotten 5 so far, so we have 5 more to go. Okay.
Okay, here we go. They say buy low, buy high. Okay,
Explain.
so when you're thinking about the stock market, it's buy low, sell high.
Yeah.
They are saying buy low, buy high when you're looking at the shelves. Because the best
yes.
deals are either at the bottom of the shelf or the top of the shelf. They want to put, the grocery store wants to put the most popular, most money-making items at eye level. So if you're willing to get down on the floor or stand on your tiptoes or ask a stranger to lift something down for you, those are where the better deals are.
Okay.
Do you remember the commercial for the knockoff cereal brand where the guy like walked like a duck and he was like, I'm
Yeah.
walking like this because the best cereal's on the floor. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man. Yes, I do.
A bunch of kids just looked at their moms in the car and be like, what is she talking about?
Yeah, I don't get it.
All right. They say serve your food in the kitchen instead of bringing all of the bowls to the table. You are definitely likely to eat less food if you bring a pre-portioned plate to the table.
Okay.
It's the idea that if the food is in front of you, you are just going to sit there and linger and chit-chat and put more and more on your plate rather than finish your meal, enjoy, sit and chit-chat, and not go back to the kitchen to get another serving.
Okay, so you serve it in the kitchen or
You serve it in the
Okay.
kitchen and bring your plate full of food to the table.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, okay, I get it now. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Just a
So
moment.
how does it save money? It makes your food last longer, right? Like you cooked a meal and now you also have lunches for the next 2 days because you didn't eat as much.
Right, because you didn't go back for seconds and or thirds.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
And
I
I know
gotcha.
I am definitely one of those people. If the bowl full of potatoes is sitting right in front of me, I am going to put more on my plate.
Yeah.
But if I have to
because
get
love
up and walk over
potatoes.
there, I might think about it twice.
Really love potatoes. I would probably walk for potatoes.
We have this recipe magic potatoes in our house. I think I've talked about it before, but
Mm-hmm.
they're multicolored finger potatoes, and the kids will close their eyes and try and guess what color potato they're eating. So I'm like, that was a purple
Do they ever
one.
get it right?
Yeah. Oh
Do they ever
yeah,
get it right?
yeah,
Really?
yeah. It's like a 33% chance. It's like yellow, red, or purple.
So when I was in seventh grade, I had a science teacher who actually, when I went back to teaching at my former middle school, was still there, and he is the
Oh
instructional
my
coach.
gosh.
And he's finally retiring this year. And if your name is Mr. Kazir, I love you. So I remember this so well. He was our science teacher in seventh grade, and it was Halloween, and he was talking about how he was eating candy corn, and he was like, I cannot taste the difference between the yellow bottom and the brown bottom. There is no difference. And then the whole class of like seventh graders just starts freaking out. Like, what are you talking about? Of course, there's a difference between the yellow bottom and the brown bottom candy corn. What are you even saying right now? That makes no sense. He threw out his lesson and made us all do a taste test. So our science lesson that day was an experiment on whether or not you could taste the difference. And I distinctly recall that the seventh graders were wrong.
That is amazing. That is so good.
You cannot taste the difference. Apparently.
But
Some people
tell
say
me
they
what
can. I
else
think
you
they taste
learned.
different.
Right? Like, do you remember every single thing you did in seventh grade? No, but you do remember the candy corn taste test.
He has no recollection of it. He has no idea that even happened because I talked to him about it. But you know what else I learned as a teacher that day? Like when I look back on that as a teacher, I'm like, you know what? If they're excited about something and I can somehow tie it back to what I'm actually supposed to be doing here, I'm going to throw out my lesson for the day and I'm going to make every class do this. Yes. So I did that several times where over the course of my teaching where I was saying, like, this makes what you guys are talking about. No, like my girlfriend who had to tell her kids that the internet doesn't come from the moon.
Internet does not come from the moon.
Right. She had to throw the whole thing out, and it was totally fine because the kids were so excited about it, and she still was able to do her science lesson. And I did that with history all the time. It was great. I loved it. It was really fun. So that's the other thing I learned. Anyway, please continue.
Okay. The next quote unquote hack tip is something that I could never do. But there is science and research behind why you should.
Okay.
They say you should shop with cash. And this is a quote from the article. Study after study has proven that we buy less when we use cash. That's between 15 and 40% less, depending on the study.
Now, is that because you probably didn't pull out enough cash to begin with, and so you have to put things back? Or is it because it's probably a combination, but the latter, which is you're watching your money disappear?
I think that's it.
Yeah, that hurts. That hurts.
You have to
Yeah.
physically count it out and think this is real money. It's not something I'm just going to pay
Right.
off at the end of the month. Like this means something. Yeah.
Yeah. How many of us, especially when we were younger, thought that credit cards were not real money, right?
Right.
Because it doesn't feel real. Oh, okay. All right. Noted.
Okay. Then they suggest that you should have a shopping journal so that you can compare prices. Now, I don't know about you, Caitlin, but I have way better things to do with my time than write
Right?
a journal about shopping. I
Dear
thought of a way to
diary.
do this. Yes. Okay. So here's the thing. What if you just kept all your receipts in one place?
Okay.
And then you could say, all right, I don't know if this price, and you would have to be shopping online, right? You would have to be doing a grocery order or something. But I don't know if this price is good or bad. And then you could go back in time and look at a receipt and say, oh, this actually is better than I paid last month.
Or like if you're super hyper organized, you could turn it into like some sort of list where you're like, I know every week I always buy this type of ice cream, these cookies, this rice, grapes, apples, whatever. And then you just log how much that item cost you. And then you just keep it going. Like you say the store and you say, that's a lot of
Right.
work.
It is a lot of work,
But
but
if your
it
list
could
is
end
the
up
same all
saving
the
you something.
time,
I remember when we were growing up,
all right.
we were only allowed to buy corn on the cob if it was a dozen ears for $1. If it was 10 ears for $1, my mom would say no. She would say, wait a week. It'll be on sale, a dozen for $1. I just
Interesting.
bought 8 ears of corn for $4 the other day.
Oh, man. Ooh, that
So
hurts.
I know that the price of corn is going up.
Yeah. What was the thing about eggs? Everybody was like losing their mind about
Right,
eggs
right,
being completely out of control a few months ago. Oy,
Yep.
gross.
Okay.
All right.
And
What else? They got
this
any,
is
you
the
have
last-
9. You're up to 9. You got any more
Yeah.
for me?
Number
Okay.
10. This one is great. Okay. We already know that you should not go to the grocery store when you are hungry, right? You should also not go when you're like sad or depressed or really, really angry at someone. You're like, oh, I'm going to eat all my feelings, right? Like that makes sense. Rotherbyshopping.com blew my mind with this one. They said it doesn't matter when you go to the grocery store, you should chew gum. And it should be a fragrant, flavorful gum. So Fruit Stripe, you're out. I don't care how cool your stick-on tattoos are. The flavor lasts in 5 seconds. But get yourself a piece of Bubblicious and start chewing, because the smell and taste will block out the other smells in the grocery store that stir up impulse buys. Like, oh, the fried chicken smells really good. I'm not going to buy that deli fried chicken, but it might like start me thinking about something else I want to buy. The bakery smells amazing. Oh, the French bread looks so good. I think I'll have some. If you're chewing flavorful, highly scented gum, you're less likely to give into those impulse cravings.
That's wild. It makes sense.
Crazy.
But
yes.
It's wild. My problem at the grocery store is usually not straying from the list of food. It's like I walk down the hair accessory aisle and I'm like, you know what? I need a new headband. I don't know if it would help me with that, but
so maybe you need to chew on shampoo.
Or maybe I just, reroute my walk through the grocery store and not walk through that aisle on purpose.
Yeah.
Right.
For me,
all right, those were
K-cups.
awesome. You had 10 tips. Oh, yeah, those
If I walk down the K-cup aisle, I know I am buying impulse things. I'm like, oh, this one's coconut donut flavored. I'm going to get it. Who cares? It's $8.50 for 6 K-cups. No big deal. All right.
Cheaper than a Starbucks drink.
Right.
Just saying.
So,
all right, we have 10.
We're gonna give you the link to all of these all together. It's like 56 tips or something. There's a lot there. But here is the rundown. Capsule wardrobe for your fridge. Go to the ethnic grocery stores for produce or seasonings. Maintain a full pantry so you can shop at home. Freeze veggies or buy frozen ones. They last longer. Use coupons and, be reasonable about it, but maybe they can help
Right,
you.
when they're worth it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Buy low, buy high on the shelves.
Mm-hmm.
Serve your plates in the kitchen. Don't bring full dishes of food to the table. Serve yourself before you go sit down.
Mm-hmm.
Shop with cash if you happen to have that ability, or it's 1950.
Right.
Keep a shopping journal, again, if you have time, or just, have a rundown of what prices make sense to you. And my favorite, chew gum.
Love it.
So there you go, guys. I just saved you like 400% on your grocery bill. And remember, our show is fact adjacent, so.
Right, exactly. Our impact is measurable. 400%.
400%.
Wow.
All right, y'all. That's all I got. So when you're walking through the grocery store and the French bread smells amazing, go ahead and get out that Icebreaker's gum instead. It's a good choice. And you always have to make good choices.
And chew some gum, but not fruit stripe. Yuck. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hey friends, thanks for listening to the CK and GK podcast. Find us at CK and GK podcast on Instagram and Twitter, and rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, or anywhere else that you pod. See you next time.